Everyone, welcome back to the BV Bunker. Today we're looking at the 1965 film Repulsion, brought to us by Roman Polanski, continuing our 31 Days of Horror. We have the story of a young woman who, by the definition of the movie, is a sexually repressed young woman who basically falls into paranoia and fear and all that type of stuff. This is true psychological horror, and it's done incredibly well. I mean, for as flawed an individual and greatly flawed a person as Roman Polanski is, he did have an incredible eye for cinematography and for telling a fantastic story. This one really works because true psychological horror, in my mind, succeeds when it can do something that the audience itself can relate to. Now, psychological horror in this case, this particular one doesn't rely on anything supernatural. This is all real things, which is why the audience can relate so much, because the audience in a lot of ways can see themselves through the eyes of the character, played brilliantly by Catherine Deneuve, and it lends to the overall fear, because you can feel what's happening and you can relate to what's happening, because everyone's felt fear and isolation and the paranoia from different things. Now, 1960s standard, this is the whole, she's the sexually repressed woman because, she doesn't want to get in a relationship with this guy and so on, and it drives her kind of insane. But, looking at it through my vision of today and looking back, I can see that, is she really sexually repressed, or is it just that she's rebelling against societal norms, these norms which are stated by other characters of how a female should behave, especially when it comes to interacting with men. And she's just like, fuck that, I'm rebelling against this. And because she's rebelling and getting put back in her place because of her rebellion, it causes her to snap a bit, which is amazing that more women haven't and just murdered a lot of men. It shows incredible restraint on the other half of the species. Half-ish. I know there's a little bit more, but whatever. I'm going to split hairs over numbers. On a scale of 1 to 10, it's like every story you've heard about, sexual assault and harassment and all that type of stuff. And this is very relevant today with what's going on, especially with the current thing with the Me Too and all that. And it is real. This is a real thing that happens to so many people. And the fortitude it takes to survive these things is incredible. And I'm getting a bit kind of, on my high horse preachy, I guess, maybe, I don't know, but it strikes home in a real way, because so many people have gone through things so much like this character. I mean, they didn't snap quite in the way that she did, but this is what makes this one so scary, is that there is nothing scarier than real life. I mean, horror is one thing, but the horror of actual life is what really is scary about it. And I don't think Roman Polanski himself was thinking ahead that much, because the dude is a perv and a skeeve. But looking back on this and then relating to today, it seems very, very appropriate and relevant. So I think this is definitely one worth checking out. It's not going to be for everyone, because this is psychological. It's slower. It relies upon the pacing of a slower story and true characters. You're not going to have, there's not gore. There's none of that stuff. This is, as I said, pure psychological horror. But I think it's worth checking out. So until next time, stay safe out there in the wasteland, folks.